Tarumbeta italia katika anga.
Like this. That is how the trumpet will sound.
Konene, jana kuna vile nilienda nikitandikwa jua like my analysis on ile story ya kina Gachagua kwenda ilikuwa ni Vigilance House, and still cause I don't learn, I've decided to talk about Gachagua. So yesterday ilikuwa very interesting day cause kuna vile watu walikuwa na protest in Northeastern in support of Gachagua. This is one of those things zile niko sure mse kama Duale alisikia kashindwa what the is going on, cause wacha tucheki jo, hii ilikuwa ni Northeastern. So nachiki kwa hizo nini unachiki kuna mse anatembea ameshikilia ile Gachagua was right, and of course kuna no food, no life, no medicine, no doctors, no health, and like one of the things ile unacheki like hii Gachagua was right actually stood out cause nachiki hiyo place kuna hatuna dawa, hatuna maji, alafu iko ni where is our governor, senator, women rep, cause no kabla Gachagua amekuwa akisema that our say wa Northeastern they actually live in Nairobi, and that means that they are not worried about changing their counties because these are clowns. And you see in Kenya we elect clowns, and this is not just about Northeastern, it's all over the country. These people don't see that they are mini presidents. They don't see that, for example, when the president is talking about Singapore, they can make their own Singapore, because you have, especially also Northeastern, Turkana, and all these very underdeveloped areas, there's a certain level of development that you can bring that someone in Nairobi kama Sakaja, even despite his incompetence, cannot be able to bring, because Sakaja has limitations. Nairobi hapa, iko hapa. Nairobi is a sort of house ile kauna buy an apartment block. My advice would be make sure if you are buying an apartment block, you've all the apartments around your area have been built. Kustanunua apartment, utanunua apartment yani, not an apartment block, like an apartment iko na view, iko nene, I love the view, then the next thing building ina nakuja hapo pop, alafu ina block your whole view, so it messes you up, and that's the good reason to rent. Kakinuka unajipea shughuli, unachia landlord kwa kitafuta jua huko, so that's one of the things. But now back to Gachagua, like so yeah, hii protest ili happen, and I'm sure akina Duale like saizi what they'll try and do is they'll try and even blame outsiders. They'll come up with any excuse. They just won't accept that, you know what, people are not happy, and people are looking at like what's happening, where you have all these governors, senators who live in Nairobi and do nothing for the people, nacheki, and those people are now stuck in what is it called, they are now stuck in this thing where they see development and they see Somalis being like praised for their business acumen, lakini kwa ground unapata vitu ni shida. So hili video fulani ile Nini alishare, anaitwa nani jo, hii ni Aden alishare. Aden alikomeandika, it isn't just HE Rigathi Gachagua that is having fun with the political elites from NFD. Even young girls from Karatina see the sad state of the north. Alafu akaeka hapo akina Welie, Bilokaro, and yes, and so this is what's happening. Unajua kuna watu watasema like don't kick someone when they're down, but if you are to think about it, like here Northeastern is pathetic. Like if you look at how much money has been given to these counties and there's basically nothing happening, it's very sad. Why? Because these guys are in Nairobi and they're building apartment blocks. But wacha tusikie, just a part of what good day alikuwa amesema. Ni twendeni Mandera County.
Watu wa Mandera mumeitana sana. Na mimi ni nani? Mi lazima nikuje. Lazima nifike Mandera. Kwani iko nini?
Nasikia hiyo. Eko nene. Mistake tu amemake ni kuweka hiyo kwani. Kwani wekaga kwani? Nafaa tu kusema eko nene. Hiyo inatosha.
Governor wenyu ameitwa kwa Public Accounts Committee Senate kuelezea mambo ambayo imejitokeza kwa report ya Auditor General 2024 for the financial year 2024-2025. But before hata nifike huko kuote, who is Mohammed? Who is Mohammed, your governor? Mohammed Aden Khalif. Mohammed Aden Khalif alianza his political career in 1998. Wengine wenyu hata hamkuwa mmezaliwa. He was the councillor, Mandera Township. Akafanya hiyo kazi kuanzia 1998 mpaka 2013.
Tunajuaga kitu mbaya na politics ya Kenya ni tumekam tukaachelia ikakuwa ni some form of dynasties. So yes, ukicheki hizi stories za Mandera and what. So udem alienda paki breakdown hii story ya Mandera. Na yes, alienda pia kibonga juu ya stories za Northeastern and kuangalia like how much money was being used. So you have that like that county. And one of the things that came out kwa hiyo county ilikuwa ni story na kuzuo mse walifikishwa mbele ya ilikuwa ni the Senate. Yes. Na walikuwa na come up with these very ridiculous things where they spent on seedlings, they spent on things and you can't see those things on the ground. So there was that. But now, ukitaka kujua, if there's someone who's having fun with this, of course, it's Rigathi Gachagua. So nilibaki nimecheka sana because Gachagua, I think after kuona ile protest ili happen, Northeastern, because I'm sure the video reached him, alienda pa me post wale akiro swal bajirta. I hope nimesema vizuri jo. Wale akiro swal bajirta. Inamaanisha there is a final question. Then akaandika leadership is not a privilege granted for personal gain. It's a sacred responsibility entrusted for the protection of human life and dignity. And this is a very interesting thing coming from Gachagua, because even Gachagua himself, I don't think before atoke kwa gava alikuwa anajua that leadership is a sacred responsibility. Yes. And to a certain level it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be one of the chosen few to lead a people and guide the people. Then akaendelea, judged by this standard and its wisdom, the situation in northeastern Kenya demands an honest conversation, self-reflection, and urgent action. Today, conditions in the region have deteriorated so severely that even camels, animals that have evolved over time to endure some of the harshest environments on planet Earth, are dying from thirst and hunger. And it's so interesting to hear Gachagua talking about evolution. You remember that thing that no one believes? Because there's no way we evolved from monkeys. If we evolved from monkeys, then why are monkeys still there? No one said we evolved from monkeys. That's not what the theory of evolution says. The theory of evolution says that we and monkeys are relatives. We share a common ancestor at some point, and it's not specifically monkeys, it's chimpanzees. Yeah, those are the closest relatives to us. No, there is no way. This earth is 6,000 years old. Oh, let me turn to my holy book. Science is not real. As you use science to discredit science. When you get sick, you go to hospital, you don't go to any religious place. Why? Because, deep down prayers don't work. I'm sorry to remind you that on a Sunday, but I digress. Wacha tuendelee. Then ikaendelea ni, it is the fate of such resilient and adaptable creatures. If this is the fate of such resilient and adaptable creatures, what hope remains for human beings in the region? Then akaandika, Subhan Allah, orphans go crazy, widows cry out in silence and in excruciating pain. The sick are denied even the most medical care because of the greed and neglect of those entrusted with leadership. Bila aliamua, Gachagua hii aliamua tu zile za iko nane. Hizi raya zitaamua, zitajua mimi ni nani jo. Especially after kusikia mlisema kuwa Friday I didn't bring the town to a standstill. I'm going to bring Northeastern to a standstill though. Then akaendelea akasema the Holy Quran issues a clear warning. Those who unjustly consume the wealth of orphans, widows, and the general ummah are consuming fire into their bellies and will be burnt in a blazing hell. Of course, Israel zinaiba northeastern ziko like, we don't believe that. Ikaendelea, the Holy Quran further reminds us that all shall be resurrected and called to account for their deeds and for the suffering they inflicted upon the victims, the ummah. Subhanallah. I don't know what that means. I'm going to Google, but damn, this dude was on fire, man. Like Gachagua was on fire. I was like, kanyaga ye. Akaendelea, power has a way of deceiving its holders into believing that the consequences of their wrongdoing can be avoided. Yet on Yaumul Kimaya, ill-gotten wealth offers no refuge and earthly titles will carry no weight. I guess this Yaumul Kimaya is about the afterlife. If you threaten me with what's going to happen to me in the afterlife, I'm just like that northeastern MP. I'm there like, let me enjoy the heaven on earth. I'll worry about hell later. Because hizi raya huwezi zitishia na hell. Unafaa kuzitishia na consequences on earth. Then the question will not be how powerful one was, but how just and true they were to the trust bestowed upon them to exercise rightly and justly on behalf of the ummah. Subhanallah. Then for the leaders of northeastern Kenya, know beyond any doubt the accountability does not end in this world. Divine justice is inevitable, and you shall account for the tears for all those whose suffering and pain you've caused. So if you are to ask me, I think this is something that was written for Gachagua. And if you are to ask me, I don't think this is anything that threatens any of these people who are stealing there. Because even when before they started stealing, they knew this was haram. There's nothing you're telling them that they don't know. So how is this supposed to change anything? But I still enjoyed kuona Gachagua kiwa zile za akaandika kowi lakatagana kunene kudugsolo I'll translate that. Yeah, tuendelee. Then kinda, even as we demand accountability and continue to firmly hold the leaders of northeastern Kenya responsible for neglecting the ummah, we call for the government to urgently declare the ongoing drought a national disaster and to mobilize all available resources to save lives. We further appeal to the international community and development partners to step in and provide immediate humanitarian assistance to alleviate the suffering of the affected communities. Then akabaki ame break down how much Mandera County ikakuwa ni financing, real-time monitoring and implementation status of development projects. Approximately 202 billion imekuwa disbursed. Hii ni CDF from 2013 to 2025 ni 10.6 billion. Then equalization fund kuna ni 1.2 billion. Then kuna exchequer and treasury funding kuna 128.614 billion. Then UN, NGOs na foreign aid hizo zote zimeinject 61.7 billion. So this comes to a total of 202 billion. Na ukienda kwa ground hakuna kitu yote unaona. So this is what Gachagua posted, and I'm sure Gachagua is going to continue having fun with this, and I cannot blame him. So before tuendelee, let's Google and find out what Gachagua was talking about. But I'll still insist, you'll never find me threatening anyone with what will happen to them after death. Because what do I believe will happen after death? The same thing that happened before life. We are not going to exist. So ilikuwa ni kui lakagtegna kunin duksulna read Allah SWT how digo. Those who ate money, Allah niswahala warns you. Okay. These guys don't care, man. These guys don't care. I don't think they care that much. Najua, they're just going to haram their way through. I don't think Israel zinaenda kuworry about that. Alafu kulikuwa na ile ingine ilikuwa ni Subhan Allah. Let's see. What does that mean? Oh, ish. This is, I think I should have written Arabic detected. Wacha nione. I don't think, so yeah, the umma. Kona shindo the umma ni nini? The umma ni the masses. Kuna a lot of Swahili words that are used in what is it called? There are a lot of Swahili words used in Arab amani, a lot of Arabic words used in Swahili. So kuna na hiyo muchekaga sana. Kuna rapa muskiza kutoka US, so you do this sort of raps where he plays with religion, so you wouldn't know if he's a Muslim or a Christian, but he plays around with anaitwa Chief Kamachi. Na kitu moja iliyosemaga ni instead of the dunia, yosemaga the dunya. Yes, so na hiyo najua ni dunia, najua the dunia, dunia. So hii subhanallah, I don't know what it means. I expected it to show up hapa and tell me something that it means, lakini haisemi. But I guess that's what Gachagua was trying to tell us. Let me try and see if I was to break this into 2 words. Would it make it better, man? So poleni that I'm doing this research right now, but I really enjoyed that. And yes, I'm waiting to hear what like the reaction, because I'm sure us wa Northeastern wamekaa chini, and I would not be surprised if they send goons to the ground could deal with the protesters. That's number 1. Number 2, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and start blaming Gachagua and claiming that Gachagua funded the people there. They always come up with this bullshit like arguments that you're there thinking like, okay, so you want to convince me that Gachagua akikuwa at Kenya, damn, Gachagua akikuwa Nairobi somehow aliconvince wase wako Northeastern waende kuprotest. Oh no, he paid them more than the money being used to build malls. Tuacheza ovyo. So yeah, so there was that. But you can remind, kuna a certain meme niliona, kuna this to fake news channel hapa Kenya zinakuwaga super interesting. So moja hiyo, because I don't think Nani said this, Faruki bet, but he could have said this also. So allegedly Faruk alisema tunataka Gachagua apatiwe akuwe chairman wa IEBC ndiye atangaze Ruto mshindi 2027. Damn. Okay, number 1, for you to be the IEBC commissioner lazima ukuwe lawyer. So I guess that disqualifies Gachagua. I don't think Gachagua is a lawyer. Okay, before ni attack hapa kwa comments, I don't think he is. But would it be interesting if he was made the IEBC chairman? Yes, it would be interesting, because even if the other opposition guy takes an early lead and Gachagua is there reading that, grinning, Ruto would be losing it. On the other side, if he announced Ruto as the winner, Gachagua would be losing it. It would be so interesting. It would be like the best TV we can ever see. Konene, najua mwaka ni mpya lakini injili ni ile lemfi. So kama uko US, uko UK, uko Canada ama uko the UAE na unatry kutuma do Kenya, baki umechangamka, ingia lemfi, utabaki umepata the most competitive rates. Lakini apart from that, on your first transaction ya $100 or more, utapata $20 sign up reward. So unangoja nini? Baki umechangamka, chap ingia lemfi. Lemfi, international payments for everyone. Konene. But tukitoka hapo, if there is one thing that's been spreading saizi juu ya news ni fake news, najua. And fake news waga interesting sana, because I saw like one of the funniest fake news, and it was funny because I'm sure there are Kenyans who actually believe this. Najua ile like someone creates, especially these two fake websites, wanatengenezaga some fake poster alafu wana claim kitu. So kulikuwa na hii post that was being attributed to Moses Kuria, and I'm just doing this purely for humor purposes. Ilikuwa mimi na nitasema ukweli, apparently Ruto amekosa usigizi. Apparently Moses Kuria najua kanaweza tumia jina apparently, I don't think so. Then akaendelea, siku moja nililala State House, nikasikia Ruto akikibia akipiga duru. Mara naona watoto kanisani wakimlilia. So najua hiyo ni story gani? Hiyo ni story na Kiambaa. Story ya Kiambaa, let me address it. Nilibaki nimebonga juu yake on my Saturday analysis, and someone was angry at me when I said that Kiambaa does not stand what does not stand for what Kiamba used to stand for. Msakaniambia kwenda huko, that's a broad-based podcast can say that the wounds of Kiamba are still very fresh. And here is my reasoning. I always say, let's talk numbers. 2007, that's a number. It's a year. What happens? The Kiamba tragedy happens. Who is accused? We all know who's accused of being the major perpetrator. 2013, this accused joins with Uhuru Kenyatta. And what do? They run for president. So who does Kiamba vote for? Them, the two of them. Then what happens? 2017. Who does Kiamba vote for? The two of them. Then what happens? 2022. Who does Kiamba vote for? That one guy. So just right now, because we are angry at that one guy, does not change facts. Najua, if 2013, which was 6 years after the tragedy, people were like, unajua, haikuwa makosa yake, alikuwa anatumika tu. Alafu 2017, hiyo hata mambo tulisahau, hiyo tuliachia Mungu. 2022, hata kama ni mwizi wetu. Then all of a sudden 2026, we are so conscious. What happened 19 years ago was unforgivable. How dare Mwafrika say? Facts, man. Najua, kuna facts. And facts na emotion hazigoigi along. Najua, utachukia kile nimesema. But if you voted for Ruto in 2022, you can't turn around and say that crimes that he committed in 2007 allegedly committed. Let me put that. In 2007 are unforgivable. Doesn't work like that. You don't get to choose leo alafu kesho change mind yako. But wacha tuendelee. So as I keep saying, ilikuwa ni fake news. Mara naona watoto kanisani wakimlilia. Mara General Ogora anataka kumpiga risasi. Mara Kenei anamuuliza maswali. So Ogola ilisemekana the crash the plane was not a real crash. Ushasikia Kalonzo akibring up that. Then mara Kenei anamuuliza maswali. Kenei ni ule mse alikuwa na waka kwa ofisi ya the Deputy President. He was supposed to be an ICC witness if I'm not wrong. Akabaki ameuma pamba haraka. Hata kuna siku Jacob Juma amemkimbiza na panga. Sio rahisi kuwa rais wa Kenya. Okay. This is just humor purposes. This nonsense never happened. I don't think even Moses Kuria said this shit, and he wouldn't say this shit. Najua. But sometimes I'm wrong when it comes to he wouldn't say this shit. Okay, this one I'm sure I'm not wrong. What's interesting is kuna hii quote nilisikia and it was too funny mpaka nikaambia wase this can't be real, because especially coming from Ubuda anaitwa nani PLO Lumumba, but the quote was actually real. So wacha tusikize PLO Lumumba hapa alikuwa anabonga juu ya hizi ma projects za gava and how the Kenyan government is trying to create Singapore. Of course, this Singaporean dream, it's one of the biggest nonsense that we've ever come up with. Why? Because we can't do it. Why? Because we lack integrity. Najua, that's the number one thing. Integrity. Wacha tusikize.
For the sale of Safaricom are going to be paid 3 billion Kenya shillings. What are they doing? You don't get into Singapore by doing the opposite things. There is a saying that you may want to, when you want to shake a baobab tree, the only thing that will end up shaking are your buttocks.
There's a saying that when you want to shake the baobab tree, the only thing that will end up shaking is your buttocks. Ushaonaga baobab tree inakuwaga bigi, like I think that width inakuwaga kubwa, like hata nikifanya hivi mikono inatoka kwa camera. That's how wide a baobab tree is, and if you try to shake it, unaenda tu kishake matako yako kote ikanen.